What's up, NBA fans? Dom2K on the mic, and today we're doing a video that I honestly should have taken care of back in about August, but somehow I got sidetracked after doing the Kevin Garnett video. And as you can tell from the title, we're here to talk about 5 places that Kobe Bryant could have been traded. Now, whenever you hear about Kobe Bryant, one of the biggest talking points is how he played 20 great years for the same franchise and how he was loyal to them, bleed purple and gold the entire time, and just never left through free agency. But it becomes very easy to forget that in this short sliver of time before they got Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant almost made it out of LA a couple of times. He wasn't necessarily happy with how they were handling the team after they let Shaquille O'Neal go, and he was putting pressure on management, or he really wanted to leave. We'll actually never know which one it was. Everyone has their own opinion. Regardless of that, I'm just going to tell you guys 5 trades that almost went down. And before I officially get started with the video, I wanted to take a second to tell you guys about the app SeatGeek, which is a pretty helpful app if you're going to be going to NBA games or just events in general. And basically, it's an app that pulls tickets from all over the web and has them in one place to make buying really easy and to make sure you're getting the best value for your ticket. Each ticket has a score from 1 to 100, so you can tell if you're getting a good deal or not, and you can also see the view from the seat that you would be sitting at, which is really helpful because sometimes you don't know what it's going to look like till you get there. If you're interested in downloading this app, I have the link to it right in the description of my video, and you can also get $20 back on your first order by entering the promo code DOM2K, and I recommend that you check them out. I used them for the first game I'm going to this season, which is the Warriors and Magic next month, and it should be a pretty good time, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Number 5, the Phoenix Suns. Kobe Bryant's illustrious Lakers career that we all know of actually came pretty close to not happening, not only because he was drafted by the Hornets, but just a couple of years later, he almost got traded to the Phoenix Suns in the 2000 season. This is around the time that Kobe Bryant had just begun to break out as the NBA's newest superstar, and he was trying to find a way to mess with Shaquille O'Neal so they could finally take the Lakers to the promised land and go ahead and start that dynasty. However, Phil Jackson was not a big fan of this whole lone wolf thing Kobe Bryant had going on, so he was trying to convince management to go ahead and trade him. Also, he didn't like the fact that Kobe Bryant was a ball-dominant shooting guard while Shaquille O'Neal was a ball-dominant center, and he preferred to have a point guard playing with Shaq rather than having a shooting guard because, well, yeah, point guard is probably going to be pass first. So only about 3 seasons into Kobe Bryant's career, Phil Jackson was trying to get Kobe traded to the Suns for Jason Kidd and Shawn Marion. This move would have turned NBA history on its head because if this happens, Kobe Bryant's career starts to take place in Phoenix and then maybe he leaves there, maybe he stays, who knows what happens there. But we know the three-peat with Kobe and Shaq doesn't happen. And then, you know, even then Shaquille O'Neal might be a Laker for life because if he's playing with Jason Kidd, who's a pass-first point guard, they're likely going to win multiple championships and there's nothing to drive Shaquille O'Neal out of Los Angeles. It's a good thing this didn't happen because not only did the Lakers go on to three-peat and become one of the most memorable teams in NBA history, but it just kind of seems wrong seeing Kobe Bryant in a Phoenix jersey, especially when you know how everything played out. You know, the crowd telling him he sucks, the playoff matchups they had. It just kind of seems right that Kobe stayed LA and actually ended up, you know, forming a pretty nice rivalry with the Suns instead. Number 4, the Dallas Mavericks. This was around the time when the loss to the Miami Heat was still pretty fresh in the Dallas Mavericks' minds, and although they still ended up a pretty good team afterwards, there's no question that pairing Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki probably would have given them that boost they needed to go ahead and win the championship a lot earlier than 2011. Well, this actually came pretty close to happening because according to Mark Cuban not too long ago, he says that he really believed that he had a trade in place for Josh Howard and Jason Terry to go to the Lakers in exchange for Kobe Bryant and some other contract they were trying to get rid of. I never found out why this trade didn't happen because it's not one of the teams that Kobe Bryant really mentioned when he was reminiscing about his career. However, it is worth noting that Kobe Bryant was the only player in the NBA who had a no trade clause in his contract at this time, and he had a very specific list of teams he wanted to go to, so it's very possible that he just nixed that trade, or you know, maybe even Mitch Kupchak just called it off because I also read an article where he said that he did not want to trade Kobe Bryant to a Western team for pretty obvious reasons. Regardless of all of that, there's no doubt that it is extremely fun to think about what Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki in their primes would have looked like on the floor together. We thought Kobe and Gasol was good. I know for a fact at this time in the NBA, Kobe and Dirk was definitely good for at least 2 or 3 championships. And when you consider the fact that the Mavericks didn't even win the championship until the 2011 season, where Dirk Nowitzki had one of the best individual playoff performances of all time throughout that entire postseason, that means the window for this team to win an NBA championship was extremely large because they won in 2011. Dirk Nowitzki is still playing today. If Kobe Bryant is on the Dallas Mavericks, he probably doesn't have to carry the load so much and probably doesn't end up with all those injuries that he had, which means he probably, actually I'm not even going to put a guesstimation on it. Who knows how good Kobe would have been if that torn Achilles didn't happen? Who knows how long his window was? So point being, Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki could have won a lot of championships for a long time if they kept retooling that Dallas Mavericks roster, but things just didn't go that way. Number 3, the Detroit Pistons. This is the one that actually breaks my heart the most, because had Kobe Bryant become a member of the Pistons in the 2007 season, we had a 100% chance of seeing a Kobe Bryant and LeBron James playoff matchup probably for a pretty long time. This is around the time that the Pistons were always making the Eastern Conference Finals, and what makes this even better is that the Celtics formed the Big Three right after this would have happened, so you would have had a conference with the Big Three Celtics, the Pistons led by Kobe Bryant, and the Cavaliers led by LeBron James. This would have made for some super interesting playoff matchups between those three. However, this one is pretty simple. Kobe Bryant flat out said no to this. Like I said, he had a veto in his contract, and I did actually hear some conflicting stories. One story I heard was that Kobe Bryant just vetoed it because he told the management that he gave them a list of teams he was comfortable with going to, and the Pistons just were not on that list. But then I also read a couple of other stories that said Kobe Bryant actually had signed off on the Pistons deal and he was ready to go. But in his final meeting with Lakers management before that was going to happen, he had some epiphany that he just wanted to be a Laker for life, so he ended up staying. Not sure exactly which one to believe here, but whatever, they both end up with the same result. He didn't end up in a Pistons jersey. This trade would have included some key pieces because the Pistons were offering Rip Hamilton and Tayshaun Prince, so that would have left Kobe with a roster of basically Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace to work with, because by this time Ben Wallace had went ahead and moved on to the Bulls. Although this is still a good team, I think we're all a little bit happy that he ended up staying with the Lakers and getting Gasol instead, because that just seems like a little bit of a better fit, and the Pistons really weren't that good too much longer after these years, so it's a good thing this trade really didn't happen for Kobe Bryant's legacy, because who knows if that was his last stop. Number 2, the Chicago Bulls. When I mentioned in the last scenario that Kobe Bryant had a list of teams that he said he was comfortable going to, the Chicago Bulls were at the very top of that list for the most Kobe Bryant reason ever. He wanted to go there so he could try to eclipse Michael Jordan's legacy, which that would have been an extremely thing hard to do considering he already had a finals loss on his record, but whatever, Kobe Bryant, ultra competitive, I get it. And this is another trade that the Los Angeles Lakers, they had in place, it was a done deal, and Kobe Bryant said nope, he went ahead and nixed it. Now this time he actually had a great reason for it, other than it just not being on his list because it actually was. He didn't want to go because the Bulls were going to trade Luol Deng, who was only 22 years old at the time and a very promising player. He was going to go to the Lakers in exchange for some other players, and then Kobe Bryant was going to come to the Bulls. And from Kobe Bryant's perspective, of course, why the hell would you do that? Because if you go to the Bulls and they've already traded their best player, now you're back to square one. You're in the same situation where you don't have enough talent to win a championship. And that was also one of his prerequisites, is that if he was going to get traded from the Lakers, whoever he went to had to have enough assets left for him to work with and try to be NBA champions. So that one didn't go through, but I think for NBA history and just all the iconic things we look at, would have been really cool to see Kobe Bryant in a Bulls jersey, because I think a lot of people kind of look at Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant hand in hand. Of course, everyone thinks Michael is better, but still, it would have been cool to see the student actually play for the teacher's team, to see what he could have built there, see if he could have built a legacy, see if he could have at least matched Jordan's legacy. But in the famous words of Kobe Bryant, what in the hell are you supposed to do with a bunch of scrubs? And that's exactly what he would have gotten had that trade went down. Number 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Alright, now you need to go ahead and calm down, because no, we did not come close to seeing Kobe Bryant and LeBron James on the same team. Although that definitely would have been something from, a media standpoint and just on court. I can't imagine what that would have looked like together. But that's not what happened. Actually, the Lakers picked up the phone when Kobe Bryant was making up all this fuss about wanting to be traded, and they offered to trade Kobe Bryant for LeBron James, and it was just a leap of faith right here. Of course, upon receiving that call, Cavaliers management says, hell no, you can't touch LeBron James, he's untouchable, because mind you, this is around the 2007 season where LeBron James had just dragged that horrible YMCA roster to the NBA Finals. But their counter offer to that was pretty great. The Cavaliers told him, you can't touch LeBron, but you can have anybody else on this trash heap of a roster. So basically they were offering the Lakers people like Anderson Varejao, Daniel Gibson, Eric Snow, just this ultimate luxurious package of the entire Cavaliers roster. You can have anybody for Kobe Bryant. And of course, after that, I'm pretty sure the Cavaliers just heard the dial tone, because the Lakers would not have ever been allowed to show their faces around town again if you knew that you traded Kobe Bryant for anybody other than LeBron James on that Cavaliers roster. And of course, props to the Cavaliers for not even entertaining that trade, because it honestly didn't make sense. It's not that Kobe Bryant wasn't probably still the best player in the NBA at the time, but Kobe Bryant is also significantly older than LeBron James in NBA years, so it just wouldn't make sense to trade this guy who is your franchise for the foreseeable future for Kobe Bryant. That it's you know, you look at it and you think about it for a split second, but then you realize it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. However, it is still really funny to think that Kobe Bryant was offered for LeBron James in the midst of all the arguments that Kobe and LeBron fans have and all that, you know, everything you see on the internet. It's just funny to think that Kobe Bryant was actually offered for him. So, you know, take that how you will. I don't really know what it means, but, you know, it's just fun to think about. And there goes the video. Those are 5 places that Kobe Bryant was almost traded. You know, when you think about his career, it's just funny to think that, man, this almost didn't happen. The whole thing with Pau Gasol and everything that we know about his Lakers legacy came really close to cutting off halfway. And it really just stemmed from the fact that Kobe Bryant hated what the Lakers were doing after they traded Shaquille O'Neal. Of course, everything that led up to him being traded had to do with, you know, their dysfunctional relationship and all the arguments they were getting into and the whole media shit show. But on top of that was the fact that the Lakers were getting by really just paying a really shit roster and keeping their expenses down. However, Kobe Bryant was putting up points every night, and he was still a ticket seller, so they were bringing in money and they weren't paying any for the roster. And Kobe Bryant was like, nah, I'm gonna be out of here if this is what if that's what y'all are trying to do. If this is just a money making thing, I gotta win, because he had that huge chip on his shoulder about winning without Shaquille O'Neal, and that's ultimately why all these 5 trades almost happened. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you ended up learning something you didn't know. I'm Dom2K, and I'll see you guys on the next video.